got stay strapped before you die smoking. All three eyes, I keep my eyes open. Ain't no competition, I'm God's chosen. All three eyes, I keep my eyes open. If you got stay strapped before you die smoking. All three eyes, I keep my eyes open. Ain't no competition, I'm God's chosen.
Peace, love, life, balance, and welcome to Universoul Life Balance, Universoul. I'm your host, Chief Jamal. We're gonna get right into this, family. This is very important because this is a lot of y'all go through this. When we all go through this, it's natural. But you have to stop letting adult peer pressure, circumstances, situations, basically stop letting the desires and the wishes of others dictate your desires, wishes, futures, destiny, whatever it may be. Basically what we're saying and making it in a nutshell. Stop letting people's influences influence your true thoughts and your true beliefs to the point where they turn. Now, we live in this era, the social media era, where everything is posted, everybody shares anything. To be honest with you, if you do any psychological studies, any real psychologist, they're not bought and paid for, will tell you, any real not just psychologists, but neurologists, anybody in the profession of mental health even, will tell you that all of this sharing is good, but sharing is only good in small doses or in controlled doses to where it's contributed to that issue. It's not good when it is oversharing. We're in a time of oversharing, family. So we're in a time where you can basically look at someone's that you know social media page, and you can find out their deepest intimate things that's been going on in their life, their love life, their finance life, their business. And what happens is, because we are creatures of influence, we're visual creatures. When you see things, even if you're not doing it consciously, subconsciously, you will start to adapt and desire those things if you're not grounded, especially. So a lot of, whether you're a woman, male or female, you might be watching certain videos about relationships, and you will have an acceptable form of relationship that you will accept, that you'll be happy and content with, but because you're watching people with unrealistic goals or expectations, or they're saying I'll only take this and that, and you start feeling the pressure. You start feeling like, well, if you're a man, you start feeling, well, if I don't want a bad B or a top model or this or that, then dang, I guess I ain't nobody, because that's what everybody wants. If you're a female, you say, well, if I don't want this rich guy that doesn't do all this, well, I don't feel. A lot of times when people have unrealistic expectations, it's not that they want to have it. It was generated through adult peer pressure and through environment. This environment that we're in, right? That you hear peer pressure, you basically hear about that amongst kids, high school students, college students, things of that nature. But you don't hear about it that much as far as the adult world, when it's actually more prevalent in the adult world. And social media has revealed that. Look, when you go on these look how many people who are basically well into their 40s and 50s, even 60s sometimes even, that are on social media, right? And they doing things you can look at like, man, that's kind of like, ain't you too old for that? Or damn, this is high school. You 40 years old. You won't hear crying about and baby mama, baby daddy drama, or you 30, 40 years old, or whatever it may be, and you won't hear doing high school type stuff. You won't hear gossiping. And we seeing a lot of childish behaviors be revealed. But you have to remember through it all to stay grounded. That's why I tell y'all, social media is a double-edged sword. You can use it. It can do a lot of great good. You can use it to spread information and help people get found. Right now, as we speak, I'm trying to use it to help a missing person get found. So there's a lot of good in social media. You can learn, you can do a lot of things, but there's also a lot of bad. You can also overindulge yourself. You can also over intoxicate your brain, basically with give yourself mixed brain signals, because your brain's not made to process that much information at once. Your brain's not made to process looking at a stat about Kobe Bryant dying, then a stat about LeBron, then a stat about the award, then you reading the status about this and about that, then about climate control, and about that, then about the election. You got all of these thoughts coming at your brain at one time, and if you know how the human mind works, whether you subconsciously paying attention to it or not, the minute your eyes take hold on them, your brain tries to process it. It's how we wired. And those who make this stuff, they know that, because what they do is they use that when your brain is scrambled. It's easy to pick up your habits. And it's easy to advertise to you and subliminally advertise. I've been in marketing and advertising for over 20 years, and trust me, subliminal advertising is major. They know what they're doing. So a lot of your influences that you have, as far as your expectations of what you want in your life and your goals, your motivations, your career, what you want to do as far as relationship, what do you want to establish? A lot of those things, if you really took time to get to know yourself, you would see, damn, I really don't like that. Damn, that ain't really what I wanted. I thought I wanted that, but I didn't. That's why a lot of y'all get y'all so-called dream person and it don't work out, because you really did. That wasn't really your dream person. It was a dream that was given to you. That wasn't the complete, elevated, healed you, actually knowing you and seeing what works with you. That was you chasing a dream that was given to you. That wasn't nothing of real substance, and that's why it didn't work. Or you got that dream job, or you hit that dream weight, and it didn't have that impact. Because you really didn't get to see if that's what you want, or does that fit you. You know, I mean, I done seen, male and female where they in actually good, healthy shape. They're not overweight. They look nice. They're perfectly healthy. But they see other people and then they try to get jacked or they get too skinny. I mean, this isn't just for relationship. This isn't everything. This is just for career. It's for everything. Stop letting outside influences change and influence what you really are. Because a lot of y'all doing stuff and it's out of pressure, it's out of peer pressure. It's to fit in. As grown-ass adults, you in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, and you still doing things to try to fit in. You're still doing things to get on because you don't want to be the oddball. Listen, you can't accomplish anything great in the comfort zone. If you want to accomplish greatness, you got to get uncomfortable. If you want to, there's no rewards for those who don't take the risk. No risk, no reward. And I'm about taking calculated risk, not stupid risk, but calculated risk. So you have to be able to, in order to do that, you got to know yourself. Because how you going to calculate if you don't know what the base formula is? How you going to do it? How you going to add an equation if you don't have nothing to add to that equation or take away? It takes more than one. So the first element you have to have is you. You have to take time with yourself. That's why I recommend doing things such as sexual transmutation, which I talk about a lot on my channel. Because what that does for you, it resets your dopamine as far as on the sex level. And then, because a lot of things that we do, even though you would think it's not connected to sex, but we're sexual creatures. That's why it's called a sex, a male or female, because a lot of our base neurology is based off of sex. So you'll notice when you start to, I noticed when I started to conquer sexual addictions, I noticed my cravings for food changed. When I started practicing semen retention, I noticed that my diet also improved, my sleep also improved. I wasn't certain things that seemed entertaining. It didn't just help me sexually. Now, if semen retention is not your path, I understand. But we all can fast. You can all fast and put down the plate for a minute. Meditation. Take your time to meditate. No talking, no noise. Go on. You can do things where you still eat. You don't have to fast just food. Okay? You can do what's called a quiet fast, where you don't speak to anyone and you don't have any TV or anything. Watch how much clarification, edification you get from doing a fast like that. But you got to take some time to see what's the real you. You have to unplug from the matrix. If you don't unplug, you ain't gonna never know where you actually stand. You're not gonna know if you are a leader and creator or you're a creative player. You're not gonna understand the difference. You're gonna be constantly trying to figure yourself out. So you got to take that time out to cleanse yourself, to allow yourself to reset. Take a logical reset with yourself. Where am I actually at? Honesty with yourself. A lot of y'all not honest with yourself. Okay, you're either elevating yourself too high or put yourself down too low. And when you take time out to discipline yourself, see, discipline with discipline comes a lot of things. There's a lot of benefits to having a discipline to yourself. When you discipline, you're able to properly see stuff and shift it around. When you're not disciplined, things gonna seem like they always moving around. Things gonna seem like they always you're gonna always like you're scrambling. You're gonna always have this fog. You're not gonna have clear direction. You'll have some success, and then when they talk about taking one step forward and two steps back, the reason you're taking one step forward and two steps back because you don't have the discipline. Because when you got discipline and when you got a plan, There's no such thing as a step back. You just because you already planned everything out from alpha to zeta, from A to Z, everything is planned out. So you don't look at it as one step forward, 2 steps back. You look at it, well, A didn't work, now I have B and C. So I'm gonna shift my game plan. And that's how you look at it. But you gotta don't get to this the thing too, real quick before we close out. A lot, especially, and I'm gonna speak on this as far as the dating world, a lot of y'all will be perfectly fine and happy and okay with certain people, but because you create this, you're doing too much social media, too much entertainment, too much whatever bad influences. It don't gotta be people. It can be just the music you listen to, movies you watch, entertainment you watch, and because of that, a lot of y'all, right, have another person's dream woman in your head, or another person's dream man in your head. You think that's your dream, but it's not. And then you will get in the semblance to that or close to that, or you be tasting that you never can get, and then you will get it or get closer or never see it and wonder why. Because it's not you. It don't fit you. The law of attraction is real. You attract what you are. And a lot of people don't want to accept that because that's when I hear people talking about they only care. I can only find losers. I can only do this. I mean, that's because that's your mindset. You attract what you are. All right, you are what you eat, and you attract what you are. Not saying you're gonna have. I'm not saying that if you're on a good path, you ain't gonna have no bad coming your way. You're gonna have tests. You're gonna have things that come in your path, right? But it's a difference between having things come in your path and you being set to deal with it versus that being your path. It's a difference. It's a difference. So with that being said, family, just remember, the first step to everything, we say this all the time, is knowledge yourself. Know you first. Take time out to build you, know you, love you, trust you, and then you be able to be an asset to the outside world. Without doing that, it's just confusion. Peace, love, life, balance.